Guys, tonight's episode is going to sound like a really bad edition of Days of Our Lives. Hill spins Sauter. So Sauter, on the caution lap, wrecks Hill. Ross Chastain wins, but he loses in post-race inspection. NASCAR gives the win to Brett Moffitt. And if that isn't enough, Christopher Bell won the Xfinity race. Much more to talk about, including this weekend at Gateway for the trucks, Sonoma for the Cup, and the last time you'll ever hear boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys, on a broadcast. Tip of the hat to good old DW. But for right now, he's Corey, I'm Chris, and this is your C+J Speedway review. So after a 12-second pause where Eddie usually drops the music in, we are back live and in charge of the C+J Speedway Review. My name is Chris Burns from the Loki Jabroni Show and the C+J Speedway Review. As always, across the screen from me, he is the Jolly Rancher King of all time. This is Corey Huffnagel. And Corey, as if the description wasn't enough, there was more drama in this weekend's truck race than a high school dance where two girls are fighting over one boy.
I'm going to have to say this. Not only there was a lot of drama in the truck race, and probably I would have to say one of the most interesting truck races that I've ever seen, with two guys going at it with each other. And then, of course, one guy who gets to win. And then, of course, he's the first guy that gets disqualified with this new post-race inspection rule. I think if you look at it, we probably had a lot more storylines coming out of Iowa and going into Gateway and Sonoma than what we've had this year. And honestly, I'd have to say, the post-race inspection rule, that was the really big topic this past weekend. And honestly, I thought as if, Chastain already had the race won, and then it didn't come till like an hour later where NASCAR ended up disqualifying him. And of course, they found something, I think, at the right front that failed post-race inspection that they didn't like. And it's kind of funny because me and you, we were talking, and we were kind of thinking, okay, who do you think is going to be the first one that's going to get hit first? And sure enough, I don't think anybody expected Chastain, but the surprising, the not so surprising part of this equation is that this is pretty much Nice Motorsports. And I think from what my understanding is I think they're a low funded team. So they're not like, the Hendricks, the Gibbs, the Penske's, the Roushes, the Junior Motorsports, the Childresses and whatnot. I could probably say is I don't know if Nice could pay the fine no matter what. And to make this very interesting, so Nice Motorsports ended up appealing the penalty today, or actually yesterday. And, of course, it was announced today that NASCAR pretty much upheld the penalty. So by 4, Chastain still has his win disqualified. Moffitt still gets the win. And think about it. If Chastain was going to get the win, he would have been about 14 points behind the top 20. Now, the rule is that, since Chastain's a little bit of a deep hole right now, and after this, with only 7 races left, he's going to have to run, I'm going to say, 95% of the races than what he had this past weekend at Iowa. I mean, if he could back it up with a win at Gateway, I'd be impressed. But still, this kid's got a lot of work to do if he wants to make the playoffs.
With about 8 races left, you're absolutely right. It's an uphill battle for sure. But to see how he ran this weekend gives me the hope that the Watermelon Man can make it up, get to the front, get himself a win, get inside that bubble for points, and make himself championship eligible. But with, you covered the appeal, and I think it was right of Nice Motorsports to appeal. They say, rightfully, wrongfully, nobody knows, because I don't think anybody saw Chastain take on any damage that would have made that right front end lower, but they found it in inspection. And if there's one thing NASCAR does right for all these years, especially now with the new technology and laser inspection, is the post-race. It's not like the days where they used metal templates and you could be off by so much. These are scientifically proven laser-guided systems that measure every inch of the vehicle going in to the inspection area. Now, I don't know if they still do it where they take the winner and 10 random cars or what have you, but obviously, if you win the race and there was some chicanery going on, somebody was trying to Chad Knaus it. I am not entirely sure, but I'm going to give Nice Motorsports the benefit of the doubt. I don't think that – I think maybe he did damage the right front, but again, I got to give the nod to NASCAR in this one. Penalty is right to be upheld. Chastain's just gonna have to battle a little bit harder going forward.
Exactly. Like we're not in the old school days where it's pretty much, oh, you can keep the win, but we're still going to take points away, whatever. No, I really think this should have been a rule ever since day one, because let's face it, Chastain pretty much drove a truck that was basically illegal, and that just goes to show you that, I really think that's what NASCAR should do. Now, to sum up your rule, so apparently what NASCAR does is they take the winner's car, the second place car, and they take the random car. So meaning, the random car will be either like a 5th place finish or like a 10th place or whatever it is and so forth. But yeah, that's the only thing I was very interesting this past weekend. And still, I mean, I would be surprised if the second one gets hit, but now this is going to make a lot of teams just say like, okay, now we got to be careful because, we might be the next one to get hit. And if we're the next one to get hit, then that won't be good.
Right. So we'll just see how this turns out. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. We know Chastain's got the speed. We know Nice Motorsports can put a vehicle underneath them that can get to victory lane. We'll just have to see how the next 8 weeks pan out for that team.
Exactly.
So before we go into recapping Iowa and the drama that builds and builds and builds, I have 2 things I want to cover personal style. First of all, hope everybody had a happy Father's Day. I had a fantastic Father's Day. My daughter was here. Hello, Emma. Got to spend the day with Emma and my beautiful Angela, the eternal flame, the goddess of love. Emma made chocolate chip pancakes for breakfast, which were more chocolate than pancakes. So we kind of had basically Hershey bars with a little bit of pancake around them. Watched horror movies all day, barbecued some dinner. Just a really great day. I was thinking as the day went on, it was the perfect gift. I got to spend time with people I care about. And the day before, once again, another tip of the hat to Mark Azarju, the great Baldini, for hosting the pre-Father's Day Father's Day. And we had a good time. So second, if you're ever in Venus, Texas, you have to check out Bucci's Pit Stop. It is the best barbecue food truck you will ever taste. My friend Kevin Boucher, who we grew up together here in Norwich, Connecticut, now he of Venus, Texas, is unleashing his meat smoking skills onto the world. And if you're ever down there, mention you heard it here on the C+J Speedway review. Maybe he'll give you like a free hush puppy or something. You never know.
Well, definitely.
And now, the sad time. Darrell Waltrip, last time in the box this weekend, this Sunday at Sonoma, the last boogity we're ever going to hear, except on replays of races. Tim Burgess on the Facebook machine had said that he loved the knowledge that Darrell Waltrip brought from all his years in racing inside the car to the booth, and I can't disagree with him. When you asked for a Darrell Waltrip memory, there are a couple. There was the '89 Daytona 500, which I was in Daytona for that. I didn't go to the race, and seeing him spike the helmet, do the icky shuffle, fantastic memory. Same year, him and Rusty Wallace battling for the $200,000 Winston Challenge. Back then, it was the Winston, basically the All-Star race. Seeing him take a victory again later on in Darlington. The same week his baby was born. Fantastic. I think that was 92. Just a lot of great DW memories. And, of course, the happiest and the tragic all in one. Mikey wins. He's excited for his brother, but in that same breath, we lost Dale Earnhardt in 2001. So what do you got? What is your favorite DW memory?
I would probably say all the broadcasts that he's done on Fox throughout the recent years. And that's one I want to share about. And then also, it's funny because my grandfather Jack kind of looks like him almost, and that's pretty much the funny part. And then also, I guess this weekend there's going to be some teams that are going to be driving some throwback Darrell Waltrip paint schemes in honor of his memory. So one would have to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to have a throwback of the Fastenal. Oh no, not the Western Union car that he had back in the 90s and so forth. I meant to say Fastenal and whatnot. And then also David Reagan's going to have a throwback of when he drove the Parts America car. And then, of course, I think Matt DiBenedetto is going to drive a throwback car. I think when he when he had the car back in like 75 or something. So I think that's pretty cool that some of the teams are showing some respect for Darrell and some tributes like before he goes out on top.
I'm kind of upset that nobody picked the Tide Ride, the most famous Darrell Waltrip.
That would have been awesome.
Other than that number 11 Budweiser car, the Tide Ride is my favorite of all time.
Yeah, I would have to say the Tide Ride's awesome.
So let's get into this Truck Series debacle. I'm gonna give you guys a spoiler real quick. I'm gonna go straight to the points on the truck race. And I'm gonna tell you why. We already said Ross Chastain wins the race, gets DQ'd. He is immediately scored in dead last. Only in our pick set could somebody pick Ross Chastain, have him win the race, have him get DQ'd, and still win the points. So I'm just going to give you the points right now. Corey took Ross Chastain. He finished 32nd. He took Matt Crafton as his sleeper. He finished 7th. That's a total of 39. You divide that by 2. Corey, your winning total for the week is 19.5 because I took Todd Gilliland as my lock. He finished 10th. I took Juan Manuel Gonzalez, otherwise known as Juanma Gonzalez. He finished 30th. That's a finish of 40. My point total was 20. You beat me by a half a point, you crazy person.
Yeah.
Well, so good job on that. But again, only you could pick a guy who wins the race, gets DQ'd, and still win the points. You must have been born with a horseshoe in your butt, really.
I think that's probably the first time on the show that I've ever did that too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Had a finisher in dead last. You are now in possession of the highest point total ever. Mm-hmm. That was last year. And the only guy to pick a guy who won the race, got DQ'd, finished dead last, and still won the points for the week. So a couple firsts right there for Corey Huffnagel this week.
Yes.
Other than Ross Chastain running a really good race, getting DQ'd, talk about some of the other guys you were impressed with. Brett Moffitt finishing 2nd and then going on to, quote-unquote, win the race, all the way up to Matt Crafton. But before we do that, let's start with Austin Hill and Johnny Sauter. What's your take on that?
Well, I got to say this, this was definitely boys have at it, what we saw this past Sunday. And a lot of them said that it had to do with the race at Texas last week. Now, I don't really know what happened at Texas. I don't know who got into who, whatever. But if you watch the race on Sunday, him and Austin Hill, they were having some hard racing. And, of course, there was a time where Hill got into the back of Johnny Sauter, which Sauter then – had his truck got loose up on the racetrack or no, I'm sorry. It was actually the other way around. So Sauter ended up tapping Austin Hill, which, Austin thought, okay, so he pretty much got me loose up on the racetrack. So that was kind of not fair. So then he goes into turn 3 and then pretty much he tells Sauter, I didn't appreciate that. So what does he do? He ends up spinning out Johnny Sauter. So I thought, okay, so, just definitely hard racing, no doubt about it, so forth. And then what does Sauter do? So then under caution, he ends up spinning out Austin Hill. And I thought, okay, so that's definitely boys have at it. So I'm definitely not surprised. And yeah, so Sauter pretty much felt like, he got taken out on purpose. And, that was just him saying, you know what, if you're going to do that to me, I'm going to do that to you. So now there was also.
Can I stop you? If you do that on the track during the race, green flag action, I'm all for it. What we saw Johnny Sauter do was a scene straight out of Days of Thunder. Change my tires. I'm going back out there to wreck Russ Wheeler. Sauter goes in the pits. He comes back out, goes out, T-bones Austin Hill, drives him up into the wall, and then drives away. Totally amateur Bush League move. My opinion on Johnny Sauter. Get your vehicle back out there. If he comes near you again, that's when you put him in the wall, not on the caution lap. The reason the caution lap is there is for the cars to cool down, get everybody safely back in line, and restart the race. Okay?
Exactly.
Johnny Sauter knows this. Johnny Sauter went ahead and did it. He went into business for himself, not only wrecking Austin Hill's vehicle, but damaging his own and costing his team some money. Not only that, getting his one race suspension, which is this weekend, and probably a hefty fine for Sauter's team.
Well, at least the good thing is that Sauter pretty much remains playoff ineligible and whatnot. So that's when I first heard that when NASCAR said, okay, we're going to have some possible discipline on Sauter. I thought, okay, so it's going to be pretty much the fine and then the place on probation, whatever. And then that's when I saw yesterday or Tuesday when Sauter announced, they announced that Sauter was going to be on a one-race suspension. So I thought, okay, I'm definitely okay with the one-race suspension. I mean, what he did on Sunday, yeah, it was bogus. I mean, spinning him out under caution, yeah, definitely. I mean, could have been two, maybe, but I think I would have been okay with one. And then I thought this was kind of funny. So I guess he ends up writing on Twitter, and I guess he has like a picture of his late model car, and he says, change of plan, guys. This weekend I'm going up to a late model race somewhere like up in Wisconsin or something like that. I thought that was kind of funny they did that. But then again, you're suspended from the truck race. So what do you do? But now my other big question is, who do you think drives the 13 car on Saturday night? Because I don't know who. That's a I forget. Thorough Sport Racing has lined up or something. I don't know. Maybe they might get super sub Regan Smith or something. Maybe
they get Parker Kligerman or Juanma Gonzalez. Anybody. He's going to Madison, Wisconsin, which is the Dick Trickle 99, the tribute race to the late great number 90 Dick Trickle. The car looks great, and good luck to Johnny Sauter on your late model race this coming weekend in Madison. Oh man, too much truck series for me this weekend, man. Just wow. Every time you turn around, drama. Why don't you just give us the finishing order? We already did the picks. You can do order and points if you would, sir.
Okay, so Brett Moffitt, who ended up finishing second, he was declared the winner on Sunday. Ben Rhodes ended up finishing second. Harrison Burton rounds out third. Grant Enfinger in fourth. Stuart Friesen rounds out in the top five. Then you got Sheldon Creed in sixth. Matt Crafton in seventh. Chandler Smith in eighth. Raphael Lazard in ninth. And Todd Gillen rounds out your top 10. Then you have Brendan Poole in 11th. You have Austin Hill in 12th. You have Kyle Benjamin in 13th. Austin Wayne Self in 14th. Riley Herbst in 15th. Spencer Boyd in 16th. Natalie Decker in 17th. And then, let's see, Tyler Dipple is in 19th, Gus Dean in 20th. Then you had Jesse Little in 22nd, CJ McLaughlin in 23rd. And then, of course, let's see, Johnny Sauter in 27th. And then all the way down, you have Ross Chastain, who did win the race but ended up getting disqualified and ends up finishing in 32nd.
Well, then I'm going to go with the best of both worlds. My happy for the race is going to be Brett Moffitt, good enough to come in second and ultimately be declared the winner right behind my sad Ross Chastain. When you drive your heart out like that, you cross that finish line, you're in victory lane, you're cheering, yay! And then the next day, it's all yanked out from underneath you, man. Can't feel worse for that kid than I do right now.
Yeah. So my happy and sad is pretty much the same as well.
All right. Moving right along, the Xfinity guys ran on Father's Day, and Christopher Bell. Once again, it's the Bell, it's the Cole Custer, it's the Tyler Reddick show. We're having a great year with these three, the top three on that series. Comes away with the victory at Iowa. What did you think of his run?
Well, I pretty much said to myself, okay, so I knew this was going to be a Christopher Bell race because obviously, of course, he won this race last July, and if you look at the top 10, so if you look at it, Cole Custer ends up finishing in second, and then Tyler Reddick, of course, finishes outside the top 10. Had a decent day, but top 15, is a good day for him. But I think Christopher Bell pretty much said, okay, so you may think it's going to be Cole Custer, you may think it's going to be Tyler Reddick, but don't count me out yet, because I'm here too, and I really think I'm also going to be a threat to win this championship as well. And if you look at it, he led 186 out of 250 laps. So that's a dominant performance out of this 20 team, the way I look at it. But honestly, I have to tell you, within the next coming months during the summer, we're already coming into racetracks where, all three of these guys could end up winning races leading up to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, and especially with Christopher Bell won, 7, 8 races last year and came home without a championship, whereas Tyler Reddick came home with it. And like you said, Tyler Reddick, not the best day for him, but you're in the top half of the field. Go home with a smile. The car was intact. You go to next week.
Exactly.
So why don't you give us the running order, and then we'll move on to the picks and move along from there.
Okay. Let's see. So Christopher Bell wins the race. Cole Custer in second. Justin Allgaier runs in third. Harrison Burton is in 4th. Zane Smith rounds out your top 5. Then you have Noah Gragson in 6th. Chase Briscoe in 7th. John Hunter Nemechek in 8th. Michael in 9th. And Austin Cindric is your top 10. Then you have Brandon Jones in 11th. You have Jeremy Clements in 12th. You have Justin Haley in 13th. Greg Galding in 14th. Tyler Reddick in 15th. You have, you have Shane Lee in 18th. And then you have, Ronnie Bassett Jr. in 24th. And streaming all the way down to 38th, you have Josh Bilicki.
All right. Well, I'm going to take Harrison Burton for my happy for this race. 4th place finish for this kid. Keeps moving up and up and up. Could be a legit contender in the next couple of years, if not this year, if he can find his way to victory lane. The sad is going to go to Ryan Sieg, a 30th place finish for this kid. Knocks him down a couple notches in the points. He was already falling a little bit after a terrible run a few weeks ago, but he'll bounce back. I have no doubt in my mind. Ryan Sieg's that kind of kid. We'll see him in the Championship 12. Don't necessarily know that he's going to be in that Final Four.
I highly doubt it. But well, let's see. So my happy is definitely going to go with Zane Smith. Good run for that kid, finishing in the top 5. So my sad on this one would definitely go to Tyler Reddick. I mean, I did expect, him to run up front along with Custer and Christopher Bell. I mean, 15 is not too bad, but I did expect better, though.
Okay. Well, guys, you've been waiting for it. Here it comes. I took Tyler Reddick as my lock. He finished 15th. I took Ryan Sieg as my sleeper. He finished 30th. I took Cole Custer as my hopeful. He finished 2nd. That's a total of 47. You divide that by 3. My total this week was 15.3. Good, but not good enough because Corey took Noah Gragson as his lock. He finished 6th. Harrison Burton was his sleeper. He finished 4th. And Justin Allgaier was his hopeful. He finished 3rd. You add that up, it's a total of 13. You divide that by 3. And with a 4.3 top 5 finish, Corey, you have swept the week that was in Iowa. Now, the point standings are as follows. With this sweep, his 3rd in 4 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, Corey has now whittled my lead down to 1 point. We are sitting at 44 to 43 in my favor. But I have a feeling my luck is going to change when we go to Gateway and Sonoma right now. Tell us all about Gateway and the trucks.
Okay, so let me just take a look. So Saturday night, you have the Gander Outdoor Truck Series at the. This is kind of a weird name. They changed this, so it's actually the worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway or something. It's kind of like a weird name to emphasize, but so I guess right before the truck race, you have the ARCA race. I think at 7. So then let's see, you got the Gander Outdoor Truck Race at 10 o'clock on Saturday night on FS1. So also stream it online on Sirius XM channel satellite radio, which of course you got the Motor Racing Network.
The voice of NASCAR.
There you go.
Never
Let's see.
I love that.
Yeah, never gets old. But so let's see. Looking down at the entry list, you have Sheldon Creed, you have Tyler Dipple, you have Jordan Anderson, Todd Gilliland, Norm Betting, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Gustine, the unknown driver in the 13 truck. We don't know who yet. And then, of course, you have Austin Hill in the 16. You have Anthony Alfredo in the 17. You have Harrison Burton. You have Austin Wayne Self. You have Brett Moffitt. You have, Daniel Sassnet from Auburndale, Florida in the 32 truck for the Josh Rayoon team. And then, you have Bryant Barnhill from Conway, South Carolina. And then, of course, you have Kyle Benjamin. You have Ross Chastain on the 45 this weekend. And then you have Chandler Smith in the 46 truck for Kyle Busch. Then you have Christian Eckes in the 51 truck for Kyle Busch. So I think this is the first time that Christian's back in the 51. I think it's Daytona in February. But definitely I want to see a strong run out of him. Then you have Stuart Friesen. You have Natalie Decker. You have Tyler Rankrum in the Joe Nemechek truck this week. Then you have Matt Crafton, Jesse Little, Grant Infinger, and then Ben Rhodes.
Okay. I always talk about momentum, but in this case, my lock has reverse momentum. But he had momentum before he had the reverse momentum, all in one race. I'm taking Ross Chastain as my lock. If you're going to bounce back the week after your issues happen. My sleeper is going to be Sheldon Creed for no other reason than, darn it, I just like Sheldon Creed. It's that simple.
Of course. So let's see. So for my lock this weekend, since we're going to Gateway, it's pretty much New Hampshire on steroids almost. So my lock for this one, I'm gonna go with Todd Gilliland. I really want to see how this kid can do in the Ford truck. And like I said, he really needs to catch a break because of course he hasn't had the best of luck this season. So hopefully with this win on Saturday night can turn everything around. My sleeper is going to go to his teammate, Christian Eckes. I remember last year, I think he made his second start in the Truck Series. I remember he won the first two stages, and I thought, who is this kid? Because I really thought he was going to win the race that night, or I thought he was going to have like a top 5 truck or something. But then he gets taken out of contention, and of course, like I said, this is the first time that Eckes is back in the 51 since I believe Daytona in February. So I definitely want to see a strong run out of this 51 team, and hopefully Eckes could get a win.
Oh, yeah, he had a really great run last year. I remember you texting me during that race, who the hell is Christian Eckes?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he's doing great. Those texts back and forth were some great stuff. But, good picks all the way around. We're going to have a good truck race there at Gateway. I love the fact that you called it New Hampshire on steroids because that's exactly what it is.
Right.
From layout to the way they do the race. Everything is great. But this is the weekend, this Sunday, where I get to bust producer Eddie Focus's chops. We're turning left and right for the first time this season in one race. And I'm not talking about Johnny Sauter turning left and wrecking Austin Hill. I'm talking about Sonoma, baby, wine country, one of my favorite, if not my favorite road course of all time. And I'm looking forward to it, not just for the racing action, but because we're going to get DW one last time, man. Give us the what fours and the whys, and we'll pick our picks.
And did you know that this is going to be the first time the carousel's coming back too?
Yes, I watched a YouTube video earlier of probably a race from like 93, 94, watching
97
the track. Okay, thank you. And they're using the old configuration, and we hit that carousel. It's like, yes, sir. Love it. Missed it. It's going to be great.
And I think it's going to be exciting, too. I'm really looking forward to that. So let's see. You got a Cup Series back in action this weekend. So you got the race at Sonoma, 3 o'clock Eastern time. So I think that's 12 o'clock California time, by that matter, on FS1. And then, of course, I'm sorry to say, since it's on Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 90, it's going to be on PRN, the Performance Racing Network, on Sunday.
The home of Rusty Wallace.
Of course.
So, who's in it? Is it all the usuals? How many ringers do we have?
So all the usuals, and then of course Ross Chastain's going to be in the 15 car for Premium Motorsports this weekend. So it looks like we got one guy that's going to be doing double duty this weekend.
Okay, so he's going to go from St. Louis to California over. Oh, is it overnight? They run it back to back Saturday into Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. No other ringers. No Boris said. Oh my lord, I'm kind of
no Boris said. No road course ringers or whatever. But yeah.
Ron Fellows was my favorite, other than Boris said. Boris said looked like an older version of Sammy Hagar. Guys, look it up. Boris said. Anyway, why don't you throw down your picks for this race first, since you're probably going to sweep this week and take the lead and never look back.
Okay, so I'm kind of thinking about this one. So my lock is going to be Martin Truex Jr. I mean, of course, he won this race last year. He's been running pretty good when it comes to road courses recently, and he almost won the Roval race last September. So I believe, I think this is going to be the race where I think the 19 car will be the one to beat, hopefully, and, could get another win for sure. So my sleeper on this one, let's see. My sleeper, I'm going to go with Chase Elliott. Now, he won at Watkins Glen last year. He was an average road racer. And, of course, he did hold off Martin Truex Jr. for the win. So that was the good part. But I really want to see this 9 team and definitely the whole entire Hendrick team, to run up front and, of course, be competitive because, like I said, Chase Elliott, he's pretty much holding the banner flag at this point. And then my hopeful for this one, I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney because, of course, he did win the Roval race last year, and I really want to see how he does not only at Sonoma but also at Watkins Glen and the Roval this season.
Look at you. I see what you did there, taking all 3 road course winners and throwing them into one pick set.
Yeah.
I like it, but not as much as I like my picks. I, too, took Martin Truex Jr. as my lock, having won the race last year. Strangely enough, my sleeper is going to be Eric Jones. Had a great run last year, finished 7th. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's his highest road course finish in his young career on the Cup Series. So we'll see how that translates going forward. My hopeful, I told you before, other than, I think 2 weeks ago I did the same thing. My hopeful is going to be my hopeful until he crosses the finish line first this year. I'm taking Mr. Invisible, number 4. He's closed nothing this year, Kevin Harvick.
All right.
Stop playing around with your Jolly Ranchers and get to work.
I am getting to work.
All right. With that said, we are... All right. With that said, we have reached almost the finish line, although we will not fail post-race inspection. Corey, pimp, plug, and otherwise push your wares upon the people.
All right. So keep following us on the C+J Speedway review as I try to suck on some Jolly Ranchers. Well, not a lot. But anyway, so just keep following us on Facebook. Just look us up. Make sure you click the like button, whatever. So then let's see, go on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and then hit the bell and then click on, you'll get notifications when we go live and when we upload our episodes and whatnot. Instagram, we are at CJ Speedway, and then Twitter, we are at CJ_Speedway. So before I want to end this off, I want to give a special shout out to my Uncle Leibs, who lives in Florida. And this is actually kind of a funny story. So like what happened was I get home from work today, and somebody told me, they said, "Oh, you have a package for you." And I thought to myself, man, like I didn't expect a package today. I mean, like if anything, I normally do my online shopping on Ebates, and guys, well, even though it's named Ractoon, so make sure you guys download Ebates/Racatoon, or I don't know, because then you shop online and they get like % cash back, whatever. So anyways, I go upstairs. Well, actually, I go upstairs, I get my package, whatever. So this is what my uncle ends up sending me. And Chris, you're probably going to be surprised by this. So even though my uncle lives in Florida.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He not only gets me this, but he also gets me an Alex Rodriguez baseball card along with a Xavier Nandy baseball card as well. And I just thought
he wasn't bad.
Yeah. So this was the funny part, because he was actually up at my sister's funeral and I didn't even know he was there. So I went up to him, I told him, I said, "Dude, I didn't expect you were coming." So the best part was he said that he flew up from Florida the day before the funeral, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so I actually want to give a special shout out to Uncle Leibs. And Uncle, I just want to say that I love you very much. It was really great to see you a couple weeks ago. But I will say this, no, I am not going to be a Yankees fan sometime soon. I am a loyal, dedicated fan of the Boston Red Sox, and I will always be a Red Sox fan. So if anybody watches this on Facebook right now, and everybody's all going to be thinking like, "Wait, you went to the dark side? You're going to New York?" I'm like, guys, that was just a joke. My uncle wanted to do that just for fun. And of course,
why does it have to be the dark side? It's not the dark side. It's just the other side.
The other side. Well, let's just say friends on the other side, as from that movie, The Princess and the Frog from Disney. So, and of course, my uncle ends up giving me this note. He's saying, "It was great to see you. I forgot to mention how much you love the Yankees. See you in the fall." And I thought, yeah, so much I love the Yankees.
All right,
but,
so keep the cup, keep the Xavier Nady, keep the cup, keep the Xavier Nady card, but take the Alex Rodriguez card, find a local neighborhood kid, take some clothespins and clip it to the back of his bike so it sounds like a motorcycle, because I hate A-Rod.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody hates A-Rod.
Hey, knock it off with the Jolly Ranchers. We've had this conversation.
What?
Oh, my Lord.
I'm focusing while I'm working.
Yeah, I can tell. Anyway, this Tuesday night on the Loki and Jabroni show, yes, I'm going to get my plug in. Former WWE, WCW, and Global Wrestling Federation star Barry Horowitz joins the show to talk about his fantastic career. Probably one of the few guys ever who has been in the ring with guys like Jake the Snake Roberts, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Bret Hart, Undertaker, all of them. I don't think there's anybody that Barry Horowitz didn't face in his 20-plus year career with the three organizations I just mentioned. He is known to have had Nikita Koloff's first match. If you don't know who that is, look it up, Nikita Koloff, and much, much more. But I threw a picture up the other night. I was watching an old Monday Night Raw from before Corey was born, and I happened to be in the third or fourth row. I forgot that Barry Horowitz was actually playing the role of good guy on that show. And for the first time ever, we would always cheer for Barry Horowitz, and he always gave us the classic heel, shut up, shut up, shut up. Not this time. He turned around and kind of gave us like a half-assed wave. So, good on Barry Horowitz. And now here we are 20-some years later, and we'll be talking to him tomorrow night. So it's going to be fun. Other than that, I have nothing more to offer you folks except giving Corey the most famous two words in C&J Speedway review history.
Buenas noches.
I thought you were going to switch it up this week. Learn a new language.
I'm trying.
All right. So until Eddie gets back, here comes the unplugged portion of the show where we just ramble until Eddie, that guy, the one.
We're not gonna have extra hours, so I can tell you that.